Welcome everybody to Flawless Sports Cards and Comics, and we're going to be discussing the state of the hobby, ripping 2025 Series 1 jumbo packs. Let's just get right to it. Give you guys a little bit more of a background about myself. I've actually been collecting since I was around 6 years old, back in the junk wax era, which was just fun. You weren't really spending hundreds of dollars on boxes and doing breaks and all that good stuff. So it was just fun. All your friends were doing it, and I was mostly into basketball. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, um, Clyde Drexler, Dominique Williams, Charles Barkley, Isaiah Thomas. We were just enjoying the hobby. And I even remember back when we were reading the Beckett back in the day, where we would see the Michael Jordan rookie was going for about $300. If you're not familiar, Beckett was giving out the pricing, so you could see what your cards were worth at the time when you got the monthly subscription or just bought it. Raphael Devers, and then it looks like we got a Sandy Koufax. That one, I don't know why that one's flipped out upside down or just flipped. So put that to the side. We'll check later. And then, early to, I would say probably mid 90s, stopped collecting, just going through the motions. And then actually getting back into the hobby about 5 years ago with the COVID boom. And not only just cards, but also comics. Been going close mostly to hockey and stuff like that. I do remember when Panini had the rights for everything, and I did kind of buy some more LeBron James singles back in the day, in the early 2000s, when Topps had the rights for it, and was thinking, well, he's going to be a generational talent, so might as well get some rookies, especially when going through the Jordan era. But that's kind of my background. So, well, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're kind of go more of the state of the hobby, and the formats is something I wanted to talk about. Retail, hobby, jumbo, first off the line. It's just gotten to the point where I don't rip Topps hobby anymore or retail anymore, because hobby is the new retail. Series 1 has gotten to the point where there's Brooks Lee on the player worn rookie. Nice hit right there. It's gotten to the point where the hobby boxes where they want $90 to $100 is just pretty much you're getting maybe one numbered card if you're lucky, and mostly just filler inserts and filler parallels. Not too much value out of there, but if you're collecting sets, it makes sense. The jumbos is what I enjoy ripping because you are guaranteed that auto. But most of the time, if you're just going to get a picture, anyways, that's not going to make it. So, but that's why we rip. There is a gambling aspect to it. So if you're more into ripping, trying to get a big hit or anything like that, that I highly don't recommend doing that. You might as well just go towards the singles. It's not fun to rip singles or purchase singles. I apologize. There's William Contreras. That's a game used bat right there for a second relic. It's fun to rip, and that's why we do it. And I completely understand where everyone's coming from buying, but the pricing has gotten so ridiculous. And Paul Skeens right there, where it's just it takes a lot of the joy out of there when you don't pull anything, and then you start saying, oh, this rip off and Fanatics destroyed Tops and Panini's horrible and what happened to Upper Deck. I mean, not every box is going to be a huge winner, but you should get value out of the box. And I am a big believer that if you're going to spend $200 on a box, then you should get $50 to $100 back, maybe closer to the 50 range, but not get $5 back. That's kind of a killer right there. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of these boxes have missing hits. And I've done. There's an Adrian Beltran Globe Life Field. Nice hit right there. It's gotten to the point where I've ripped Bowman, which they want 500 to 600 for a hobby box, and there's a missing hit, and you've gotten two players that you've never even heard of, and then you submit it, and you end up getting a $5 autograph And I've had a lot of boxes where there was missing hits, and it's gotten to the point where you're not going to get anything big from them, but you should be able to get what you paid for, and it happens way too often. And it's just unfortunate to see because it kind of puts a lot of people out of the hobby. But the price point is what's getting a lot of people, feathers rough, because it's just so expensive to rip. Nice Dylan Cruz right there. And I'm a firm believer that, hey, if you want the player, you think highly of the player, buy a single of the rookie. But even when you're trying to do that, especially if the player has a lot of hype on them, even if they're not even proven, you're going to be paying top dollar for it. So you have to kind of wait till, unfortunately, they might get injured, or off season where they haven't really had a good year. And you just got to know the market, because the card market is the stock market. You got to buy low, maybe sell high if you want to sell it, or just buy it and keep it. Matthews. And like Wander Franco was a perfect example. People spent a lot of money on Wander Franco, and he was very talented, but we all know what happened with the legal trouble, and it just pretty much destroyed his career. It destroyed the value of all his cards. I did have some low numbered autograph rookies that I got graded, and it happened. And and I was PCing him too, so it's gotten to that point where it's just I lost a good chunk of money, but it wasn't anything ridiculous. I'll never spend more than I could afford, especially on a hobby. And grading is a great way to get value back in order for you to reinvest it. I know it takes a while. A lot of people are kind of new to it too, so they don't really do too much of the grading, but I highly recommend you do it as long as you know how to look at the cards. The, 50-50 corners, the edges, any scuffs, kind of like dents or anything like that. So, and there's a lot of videos on YouTube to kind of give you a better idea. There's Ella De La Cruz of how to do some good grading. I might do one in the future. I've graded thousands of cards, and I've had a good gem mint 10 rate, but also it depends on the grader. So there's I've seen quite a few PS6s that I've gone back, and I still don't know why they even got graded that low when it looked like a 10 in my eyes. So, but they're not all going to come back as 10s. That's just the way it goes. And going to buy singles too, I wanted to kind of touch base on eBay, whatnot, Fanatics. It's just crazy. Oh, that's a nice one to get. Steve Carlton, I'm pretty sure he was a Hall of Famer. Steve Carlton right there, on card auto. It's a pitcher, but I'll take it. It's a nice auto to get. Nice box right here so far. Nothing crazy except for that auto, but maybe we'll get a nice silver pack auto too. And I do enjoy eBay. I sell a lot on eBay because eBay protects the buyer and the seller. Whatnot, I don't know why people still buy breaks on Whatnot. Too much shady things are going on out there. Where they don't even ship out the hits, and Whatnot doesn't do anything. And it's like, why would you spend your hard-earned money and buy a break, get lucky, not get anything because the breaker just decided to say, hey, I don't want to give up this card. eBay is a total different ball game, so I do recommend to either go on eBay or Fanatics. But the problem with Fanatics is it's just so hard to find what you're looking for. There is a search, but there's so many different filler spots, and I just do not. I mean, I used to break, so I'm not knocking breakers, but I would always do this. I would always do a team break, and it's a case break. That was it. Never did anything different. We got two purples out of this one. One might be just base. I always did a team break, and I always did. Oh, that's a double. Nice. One's number to 199, and one's the base of Cade. And I did that for a reason. I wasn't maximizing the value or making my money or anything like that. I do run a business. It's an LLC, a Flawless Sports Arts Comics. That's why I break. Jackie Robinson, beautiful card right there, and Bo Jackson. but I also do it to fund the love for the hobby. So in order to buy this product and rip it on the channel, I have to understand what's the best way of doing it, and that's selling, buying, grading, to be able to afford to rip. I do have a good job, so it's nice to have some disposable income. But the hobby has gotten so expensive. It's just you got to make sure you track your money properly, and that's where it's getting to the point where the print runs have gotten so high, and I just can't understand how the price, like a $200, 185 on the Fanatics website when they were available for these jumbo boxes. Jumbo boxes should not be close to $200. Even with the draft class considered, all the good stuff, they print so much of it that it just makes it difficult to get any value out of it. And nobody wants to go and spend almost $200 on a box knowing that they might not get $10 back in value. It's just it's and it prices the kids out too. Hey, everybody, if we don't have the future, then the future generation invested in the hobby, then the hobby will fail. And it's been going on for a long time. We've seen ups and downs, but at this point, if we keep going higher and higher, it's gonna hurt everyone in the long run. And like I said, I do understand there's a gambling aspect of it. And if you enjoy ripping and you don't enjoy buying singles, then I would probably recommend to kind of go back and just see why you're doing it. If it's just to make money, then you're better off just getting a part-time job, or doing something else that could generate income, because I rip so much, and it's 9 out of 10 times you're not going to get any value that you put into it. And I've ripped a lot of cases too, and out of a 8 box case, let's say, or a 6 box case, there's only going to be one box in that case that's going to have value. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a big hit. I'm just saying it's going to be something where you might get your money back. And that's even difficult to do when you're spending this much money on these boxes. And I just don't want to say, hey, you're not going to hit anything big. I've hit a lot of cards that were really big cards, in the thousands range, but I've also ripped a lot of boxes where I got nothing back. And that's just the way it goes. But I do it for the content, I do it for the love of the hobby. And I also do it to kind of give everybody my insight on, hey, you should buy this product. I do a lot of pre-release videos, and it's like, well, hey, I just spent $300 on these boxes or box, and I wanted to show you what it really is, because I'm not sponsored by anybody or anything like that. Got an Aaron Judge relic. That's pretty awesome. Oh, it's got the pinstripe on there. Take that. It's a nice looking card. And there's Tony Gwynn and Ohtani on the cactus league right there. and I'm always going to say this with the printing of Topps, Fanatics, and Upper Deck and Panini, that the higher they go, the less valuable these products are going to be, and people talk. So if they see a product that is not worth it, like I just ripped OPC hockey. It was $60 a box. It shouldn't even be $60, and that's a low end product. That should be like 30 to 40 bucks, but it's still priced higher because it's just the way the hobby has been going. There's Jason Tatum right there. And I'm just not agreeing with these, $1,000 boxes, the first off the line, and the cup. One of the funnest rips I've ever had was the cup. I didn't even break out even, but it was really fun. Spent $800 on a box, got about $450 back, and I was very lucky to even get that back. So when I see Prism Basketball, when it was hitting almost $2,000 a hobby box, and at the time LaMelo Ball was the best card you could pull. You pull his auto, and the card was numbered to 25, and it sold for, let's say, $2,000. Then why rip it? made no sense if you're chasing a 101, because you don't even know if the 101 is in the same country of you ripping. It's impossible to try to chase something that is very difficult to get. I'm not saying you won't hit a 101. I wish everyone all the best of luck, but it's very difficult. And like I said, we have what, $370 worth of product, not counting tax. And so far, we haven't really hit anything huge. So it's just the way it goes. But the way that everything's set up this way with the odds compared to the value, it's the house is going to win. And you have to factor that in when you're ripping these boxes, because you are spending a lot of money and the house is making all that money. So it's just the way it is sometimes. So buy the cards that you want, wait till the market goes down, don't buy into the hype. That is a huge killer. And just enjoy it. Now the biggest positives is the card shows. I enjoy going to the local card show. Going to the national this year, so stay tuned for videos. Um, and everybody's there having a good time. Trade night is always fun. You make new friends. Um, when during COVID, when retail was unbelievably expensive and hard to get, we would wait in line at the Myers, and we would they would actually sell the cards at 6:30 in the morning, and we would spend the night outside in the winter in line to get retail. Like people saying, well, that's crazy. Well, I've made friends from doing that I've never met in my life, and we still talk to this day. And half of them don't even collect anymore because it's just gotten so ridiculous. But we still talk about the hobby, and Pokemon is a great example. You can't find Pokemon anywhere. The prices are going up and up. And I dabble on Pokemon here and there, and it's just fun. But have you ever ripped Pokemon? It is very expensive to get, or very difficult to pull one of the special illustration rares, and that's just the way the hobby's going in general. There's Adam. So see, two jumbo boxes, two autographs of pictures. That's just the way she goes more times than none. I'm not knocking pictures, but that should be in retail and it should be in hobby boxes. Now I understand Paul Skeens is generational talents, schoolball, but the way you're spending this much money on these products, it's just tough to pull an Otani or a Mike Trout. It's one of the top rookies, and just don't chase it. Rip what you could afford, buy the singles when they hit low, and when you break, I would say always go for the team and always for the go of the case break, because it's the player breaks. Yeah, it's 10 cases player break, but you're going to spend hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars, and you don't even get one card of the player that you were hoping for. It makes it really puts a bad taste in your mouth. And and I don't want people to be discouraged from doing it, because some people do hit big, but in the long run, just doesn't make sense. So, kind of what I'm thinking in the future of the hobby is I really believe they should stop doing redemptions. I know that they have to wait for the player and so on, but if you're going to sell a product, I'm not a fan of the redemptions, and also the quality control. If you're buying boxes and you're spending top dollar for them, there's a nice Pete Alonso to end it off, number 1099. See it right there. Make sure that these cards are clean, good quality control, hits are there, and then also the print run. It's at this point, a box of Prism doesn't cost them as much or more to make than a box of you know NBA Phoenix, except considering the foil or the chromium cards. But there shouldn't be a $600, $700, $800 price difference when it's the same autographs. And that's just the way I feel. But they are a business. They're going to make their money. And I'm not trying to knock them, but I'm just trying to, teach the public like, hey, you might not want to chase it. Just buy the singles that you want when the hype is down and go ahead and just enjoy it. So, not much out of these two boxes. It was a nice Aaron Judge relic. That is a game used one with the pinstripes. That's going to go in the PC. I'll take that right there. We kind of struck out on our second auto, Adam Mazur, San Diego rookie, but we did get a Steve Carlton on card auto legend right here. That's a win in my book. Now, did we get anything worth close to $360? Absolutely not, but that's not going to discourage me from ripping again because, like I said, I do grade cards to get my value back. I sell my cards to get my value, and I reinvest on cards. So if something goes up and I'm not, thinking that this was kind of too much for this player, I'll sell it. I'm not attached to all my cards, but I'm attached to some of them, so I'll keep them regardless of the value. And that's just the love of the hobby right there. So kind of wanted to give one-on-one with everybody. I appreciate everybody for watching. Stay tuned. We got more pre-release videos coming next week, and I appreciate everybody for the comments, and let me know what your thoughts. I know I've missed a lot, kind of running out of packs of ripping, but I wanted to just give everybody an idea of how I feel the state of the hobby is right now, and what's unacceptable and what's acceptable. So thanks everybody. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.